Shalom. I want to start off by saying Kal Halalim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Kodash. That means all praises to Yahweh and His Son's name Yahushai. Alright. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, whom I have learned this truth from. And salutations unto you brothers and you sisters that take heed in sincerity and in truth. Alright, I'm coming back once again through the spirit and power and grace of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. I'm going to get into James, the book of James in the New Testament, chapter 5. I'm going to read through. There's a lot of good points here, so I'm going to, Lord's will, expound upon them and extrapolate what needs to be extrapolated. So this is James 5 and 7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Right? Now we know that word patient time and time again. Yes, we sound like broken records. It means to suffer. We must suffer unto the coming of the day of the Lord. Right? Some people, they don't. They get winded, the wind taken out of them, which is racha. That's what spirit, wind, synonymous. They don't, there comes a time when you really have to apply this thing. You have to apply what you have learned. The Lord tests you. The Lord gave you His treasures. Now He has to trust you with those treasures. He has to trust you with his secret oracles. You can't sup at His table without proving yourself and being tried. Right? And a lot of men, they seem to forget that application is key. After getting, you must apply. The book of Proverbs 4 and 7 states, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So you can get wisdom, you can be a parrot, you can quote precepts, you can look like the fly guy that knows a lot of things, and people gawk and they look at you. But you have to get understanding as well. And how do you get understanding? There is no other way of truly getting understanding, speaking from personal experience, but by going through it. Which another word for that, or a good word for that, is experience. Right? Experience means to try out. You're tried out, right? You have to go through certain things. Like I remember before I was even on the highways, and I would watch the apostles and take notes. And in my vain carnal mind, I said, oh, I can get this thing. I don't have to really do it full-fledged. And I made excuses, and each man has their own lot. Really, I was scared. I was 17. I was scared. I was in high school. I didn't want to go on the highways. But when I hit them highways, man, there was no brakes. And I loved it. And I praise Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai for giving me that spirit. Because I know a lot of people, they couldn't make that jump. And that's not of themselves. That's the Lord blocking them. We understand. But when I would read certain scriptures, especially in the Apocrypha, which turned out to be my favorite book, which it's not one book, it's a collection of books, but I really enjoy the Apocrypha, from 2nd Esdras, 1st Esdras, to Ecclesiasticus, man. And then you got Maccabees with the history and the books in between. Ecclesiasticus really hit me though. And when I would read certain chapters and verses in Ecclesiasticus, I would read it and I would just read through it and not really understand. I would get it, but I wouldn't really understand it until I actually went through it, and then you revisit the scriptures and you say, oh, that's what that means. I've been through it. Now I understand. Do you understand? You have to go through things, man. You have to be tried out. Right? Again, you have men, they get weak, You know, like I wasn't even gonna make a lesson about him, or mention him again, but I'm not even gonna mention the name because it's not of importance. But there's a guy recently who was kicked out of the camp, and that's a clear example of, you can apply Matthew's, I believe, what is it, the 13th chapter about the seeds falling on stony places, right? Falling on the thorns representing the world and the lust thereof, and basically the lies of the world choking the word out of you. And that's what happened to that man. The lies and deception, and it really got too hard. Basically, and you didn't hunker down. You didn't lift up. What is it? What's that expression that the Lord uses a lot? It slipped my mind. Gird up thy loins like a man. That's what it really comes down to. In boxing, when you box, there's an expression called biting on your mouthpiece. There's nowhere to run. You're on the ropes. The dude's bigger. He's stronger. He's bullying you. You go on the ropes. You bite down on your mouthpiece. You take a few shots and you land a few shots. Right? A lot of men, they can't bite down on their mouthpiece. They give up, man. They spit their mouthpiece out. And that's what happened, man. I'm not even gonna dwell on that situation, but that's what really happened to that guy. A lot of you brothers in the GMS that listen to us, Toronto, you know who you should know who I'm speaking about. He's no longer with us. That's what happens to a lot of men. They can't gird up their loins, and somehow everything they learn, I'm going through hell, and I'm in pain, and I'm in anguish, and I'm depressed, but everything you learned, it was high when you were on it, right? That wave was that was the wave. Now you're on the next wave. But point being, man, verse 7, be patient therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. The husbandman is what? Is a farmer. Husbandry. A very noble practice, man, or craft. In today's society, you're looking at, farmer. What the hell is a farmer? I get my food from McDonald's. I get Uber Eats. Skip the dish, right? But yeah, man, hey, you gotta plant that labor, toil, sweat, long days, early mornings, until finally the harvest, and here's my work, right? Here is what I've been working for. Here is me reaping the benefits. Verse 8, be also patient. You see, the Lord, it's not a coincidence that me, along with, of course, starting with the apostles, they always push patience, endurance, suffering, tribulation. The Lord just pushed it in 2 verses back to back. Be also patient. Establish your hearts. The word heart goes back to lab, meaning mind. Establish your mind. You are not in here to so-called prosper. If you come into this truth with the idea of prospering, or if you came into this truth and that idea crept upon you, which are nothing but demons and distractions, you must understand, go back to Micah. I forget the exact scripture, but it says, this is not your rest, for it is polluted, it shall surely destroy you. This place is not your rest, man. For this place to be your rest, you must shake hands with the devil, man. You must bow down to Satan and be buddy and rub shoulders with a bunch of demons. That's basically how you enjoy and have rest in this place. And even then, the byfactors of that, you really don't get no rest for your soul. You get the nice material things and the woman and the clothes and all that, car and all that shit, but your soul's not at rest, man, especially if you're an Israelite. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Grudge not one against another. See? And I'm thinking in my mind, that's another reason why another guy in the camp years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago now, jeez, He fell out. And we didn't at first know why. You had guys blaming us. Oh, he left because you guys weren't helping and da da da. And later on, through the Spirit, a brother met him, and he spoke with him, and the brother had tears in his eyes, and he told him, "Look, I couldn't forgive this man, a certain brother in the camp, for their quarrel. And every time I saluted him, I felt something in my heart, and so he had to leave." A man couldn't drop a grudge against a brother, man. So he threw away his ticket of salvation, which we don't, that's just being figurative. We don't have tickets, man, but you know what I mean. You threw away your chance, man, for a fucking grudge against a beloved brother, man. Right? Grudge not one against another, and grudging can mean what? You hold a grudge, like they say in this. You hold a grudge every time you see him, and then behind his back you start murmuring, talking. You might spread rumors. We've had that before. We have guys hold grudges against us, man, which I laugh because it's normal. Who the fuck am I? I'm just a vessel, man. I'm just trying to get in the good graces of the Lord. I'm just trying to get the Lord's pardon, man. Right? Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. And there's a lot of men walking with tears in their eyes. Why? We can get that scripture. That's a bad scripture, man. I'm not sure if it's actually tears. And this is scary as hell, man. To be in this situation, to be in this predicament, I'm going to read, right? This is what? Philippians 3 and 17. I'm going to start. Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as ye have us for an example. So what is Paul telling you? He said, be a follower of men. No. In a way, yes, but no. He's basically, just like these guys say, you guys follow Apostle Tahar, and you guys are followers of men, and you guys are men pleasers. There's two sides, man. The Lord deals with duality. As it says in Ecclesiasticus, he had made one thing against another, right? Double, everything is double, man, like a mirror. Duality, so you can understand. So we have those men for an example. Just like back then they had Paul for an example. They had Peter. They had great men for example. So follow in their footsteps. As long as they're doing and saying the right thing. When they start bugging out and start telling you to do crazy shit, you clearly know that's against the scriptures. Verse 18. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of the anointed, Mashiach. Like again, man, that man had tears in his eyes when that brother seen him years ago. The one that, I'm not going to mention names because those names are not applicable to those men anyway. They have their own Babylonian names they can uphold. The next guy that fell out of 3 weeks back, he called the brother in the week because the Most High killed his friend in his sleep. And that should have been a wake-up call, but no, you chose the world over this word, man. And you had tears in your eyes, man. You know who you are. You got tears because you're now the enemy of the cross, man. You're the enemy of the burden which you once were a part of. You were part of the burden. You caught hell. You were in sufferings and patience. Right? Now you're the enemy. That's a damn crazy thing. Verse 19, whose end is destruction, whose power is their belly, man. You do what pleases you. Oh, I want to look fly, and I want this for my life, and I want that. Crazy, man. And whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things, bro. And you mind earthly things, man. I seen your persona change from this past summer. I was watching you, man. I was watching you, and I seen you dug deeper and deeper, and that's why we suspended you, and then we came back and we counseled you, and you basically chose the world over this truth, man. Verse 21, who shall change, or Slakia, that was the point, 19, right? crazy, man. Just mind-boggling. You go through hell. You're already going through hell in this place, even if you're not in the truth. You're just more open to spiritual things than the truth. But you're already going through hell, man. Why not catch hell for righteousness? Why are you going to catch hell for wickedness? You already have to ask for, I need a license, sir. Meaning I need your permission to drive my car, to marry my woman, to have my child. I need a birth certificate, sir. I need a death certificate, sir. I need a permit for this. I need to pay my taxes to the crown. You're already a damn slave catching hell. Verse 9, James 5 and 9, grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. Take, my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. There goes our word, patience again. Behold, we count them happy which endure. The word endure means to make hard. When you go through hell, it makes you hard, man. And that's just that. When you got a softie that hasn't gone through anything, he's just that, a softie. Walking up a flight of stairs stresses him out. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord. Read the book of Job. Read it 3, 4, 5 times, man, so you can get it in your head. That the Lord is very pitiful, and of tender mercy. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath. But let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. And that's the thing the apostles told us years ago. They said, look, in the book of Numbers, you have in the law, you can take an oath, you can give an oath to the Lord, you can take an oath for the Lord. But we don't recommend that, as the book of James just tells you. Why? Because, first of all, man, going back to 2,000 years ago, those men were in the flesh, but forward 2,000 years, we're weak as hell, man. We're so weak-willed, and that's due to, pollution, the diet and food we receive, the water we drink, basically the bio-warfare that we are attacked by. Our will is not as it was, man, even 50 years ago. But look, you shouldn't make an oath, man, because once you break that oath, man, you better fast and beg and cry to the Lord to forgive you, because the penalty for that is death, man. That was really it, man. I'm gonna head back to work. All right, to the slave market. But man, I want to always give all praises and glory and honor Kal Halaliyim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rechak for letting me bring this out, for giving me the spirit to do so. And salutations unto you brothers and you few sisters that do take heed in sincerity and in truth. I hope you're edified. And Lord's will, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai increases your faith and gives you more understanding and more patience in these trying times, man. We're heading into the time of Jacob's trouble. Always stay focused, man. Always look toward the mark, which is the kingdom of heaven. Don't look behind. Everything behind, just like Lot and his woman. You look behind. Oh, I missed this and I need that. Listen, better things are, tenfold better things, 100-fold better things are coming. Okay? So with that, Lord's will, until next time, I say Shalom.